Uh, Good evening, folks. What's going on? This is another live edition episode of Carolina Panthers Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Ah. Oh, man. Tonight, I'm going to preview the Week 5 matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers. Oh, man. Panthers 1-3. Niners 2-2. Oh man, this is going to be whoo. Okay, let me just woosah. Got to get through this. Okay. Niners traveling to Charlotte to take on the Panthers. ESPN matchup predictor, 51.3% chance the Niners win, 48.1% chance the Panthers win, and a 0.6% chance of a tie. As far as injury report, they got San Francisco listed. Javon Kinlaw, questionable. Tavarius Moore, questionable. Colton McKivitz is out on the offensive line. Ross Dwelly, questionable. Juwan Jennings, questionable. Hey, what's up, Joe Valesco? I feel if the Panthers get blown, what do you say? The Panthers get blown out, Matt Rule is going to get fired. It shouldn't have to take them getting blown out for him to get fired. He should have been fired right now. Injury report for the Panthers. Oh man. So first off, safety Jeremy Chin has been placed on injured reserve. And he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Hamstring injury that he got in the Cardinals game. Laviska Shenault and Stanley Thomas Oliver III were out, missed practice on today. Hamstring injury and thigh injury. Shaq Thompson and Frankie Louvu and Marquise Haynes Sr., all three were limited. Shaq Thompson dealing with a knee, Louvu with the shoulder, and Marquise Haynes with the knee. Xavier Woods, safety Xavier Woods. He was held out of practice. Hamstring. Dang, all these hamstring injuries. McCaffrey, he had a rest day. But according to ESPN, Shenault, Thompson, Haynes, Louvu, and Woods, questionable. And Jeremy Chin on injured reserve. Oh, man. Let's take a look at these rankings and just this overall scenario. Carolina is 13-9 all time against the Niners. The last time we faced the 49ers was in 2019, where they beat the brakes off of us by a score of 51-13. 51-13. The last time they beat us. Oh man. I'm even I'm even scared to go into these rankings because it's going to feel so one-sided. But let's do this. Offensive rankings. Total yards per game. Carolina ranked dead last at 32. San Francisco ranked 24. Rushing yards per game. Carolina ranked 24th. San Francisco ranked 9th. So top 10 in rushing yards per game. San Fran has. Red flag there, as well as us being ranked 32nd on total yards. Red flag. So that's 2 red flags. Net passing yards per game. Carolina ranked 31st. San Francisco ranked 26th. Sacks allowed. Carolina ranked 23rd. San Francisco ranked 8th. Third down efficiency on offense. Carolina ranked dead last at 32. San Francisco ranked 22nd. Points per game. Carolina ranked 17th. San Francisco tied at 27th. Defense. Total yards per game allowed. Carolina ranked 18th. San Francisco tied for first. Rushing yards per game allowed. Carolina ranked 25th. San Francisco ranked number 2. Passing yards. Carolina ranked 12th. San Francisco ranked number 2. Sacks. Carolina ranked 30th. San Francisco tied for second. Third down efficiency. Carolina ranked 17th. San Francisco ranked 6th. So in the top 10. Takeaways. Carolina tied for 21st. San Francisco tied for 12th. And points allowed per game. Carolina tied for 13th. San Francisco, not tied, I'm sorry. San Francisco ranked number 1. San Francisco has the number 1 ranked defense overall in the NFL. And Carolina is pretty much ranked 32nd on offense. What does this translate into? And yet, the last time we played against the Niners, we lost by a score of 51-13. And yet, look at how we're coming into this game. Carolina has the worst offense taking on the best defense. And the funny thing is, we just lost to the team that has the worst defense in the league when we lost to the Arizona Cardinals. What does that tell y'all? What does that tell y'all? You honestly think we'll win this game? Seriously. You honestly believe we will win this game? I think the only bright spot that I see in this game is being that Carolina still has a pretty good defense. San Francisco's offense, they're big on their rushing game. and they're good at not allowing sacks. But they got other areas on that offense that they can be exposed to. So that's probably the only plus that I see in this matchup. But when you have the bottom ranked offense going against the top ranked defense, there's a lot of concern. A lot of concern. We got to keep it real, y'all. I honestly don't see us winning this game. Like, this could potentially be a blowout. I think the only points we might get are probably garbage points. Maybe like a one garbage touchdown. I highly doubt that we even win this game or even have a shot at winning this game. I mean, even with looking at who the Niners have, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's, leads that offense. The run game, Marlon Mack, Tevin Coleman. The receivers, Deebo Samuel. I mean, who did they just recently beat? They recently beat the Rams. They recently beat the Rams. They straight up owned the Rams. Of course, Deebo's leading the charge of that wide receiving core. I mean, George Kittle. Don't forget about George Kittle. Y'all, this ain't looking too good. This ain't looking too good. This ain't looking too good. And of course, that defense. Of course, you got Arik Armstead, Nick Bosa. That defense. They got the number one defense in the league. Number one defense in the league. Everybody's pretty much a threat on that defense. Got to keep it real. I don't see how we're going to win this game. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Matt Rule still looks completely clueless. Baker Mayfield getting frustrated at press conferences, dissing the fans and whatnot. This team is in shambles. This team is legit in shambles. I mean, when it's so bad that folks are actually wanting to see Sam Darnold get a shot, that says something. And he's not even anywhere close to ready to return. But when it's that bad that folks want Sam Darnold to come back, that says something. That says something. Oh, man. I could see this end up being like 35-7. And that 7 points is a garbage touchdown, maybe to like Christian McCaffrey or something like that. I mean, after all, he scored our only offensive touchdown against the low-ranked Cardinals defense last week. So maybe we could get a garbage touchdown. But it would not surprise me if this ended in a 35-7 mollywhopping. I mean, it's so bad. I'm hearing fans flat out don't want to go to the games anymore. They don't want to go to the games. I mean, can't say that I'm shocked. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. But right now, this team is hot garbage. I mean, we got to keep it real. This team is hot garbage. Look at that. The game preview picks, 49ers, unanimous. From the analysts, unanimous. I mean, we got dang on Skip Bayless after that Cardinals performance, just flat out trashing Baker Mayfield, Matt Rule, the entire Carolina Panthers organization. Stephen A. Smith, same thing. Baker Mayfield, you're horrible. Like, right now, the Carolina Panthers are like the laughing stock of the NFL. And the funny thing is, they don't even have the worst record. The Texans have the worst record. Carolina doesn't even have the worst record right now. That's the crazy thing about it. That should tell you something. We're the laughing stock of the NFL. And they don't even have the worst record. Oh, by the way, Hassan Reddick, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Just had to throw that in there. Just had to throw that in there. I mean, honestly, y'all, I really don't know what to say. I mean, maybe y'all got something. I would love to hear from y'all, but I don't really know what to say. Like, I don't see us winning this game. And the thing is, looking at the schedule after the Niners, we got the Rams and then the Bucks. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. Now, as far as Jeremy Chin, I'm thinking probably. I think word is Justin Burris got moved up, and then Kenny Robinson got put back on the practice squad. I think he got signed to the practice squad or something like that. So I'm guessing Justin Burris is probably going to start in place of Jeremy Chin. You know, of course, one of the other veteran safeties. But it looks bad. It looks really bad. Like, it will legit take a miracle for Carolina to win this Sunday. It's going to take a miracle. They pretty much would have to play flawless to even stand a chance. I mean, they'd have to be no turnovers, defense is on point, offense is on point, special teams is on point, no turnovers. Like, that's the only chance they have. They're going to have to play a complete game from start to finish as flawless as possible. And I honestly don't think they can do it. I don't think they can do it, y'all. I got to be honest. I got to keep it real. Uh, but you know something? More and more, as time is passing, I don't think Tepper is going to get rid of Matt Rule. I honestly don't think he's going to get rid of Matt Rule this season. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's willing to step up and do so. I really don't. Hey, what's up, Cruiser? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. The 49ers offense is not that explosive that their receivers aren't able to rack up yak. The Panthers back seven on D have to be on point and make their open field tackles. Like, here's the thing, though. The Carolina defense has to be the ones that carry the offense, but that's not going to work. They got to play a complete flawless game on all three sides of the ball, because you have to remember Carolina has the worst ranked offense and San Fran has the top ranked defense. So already it looks very one-sided. The matchup looks extremely one-sided. And our defense, who's played well, but they're on the field so much, they get gassed. And when they get turnovers, the offense can't capitalize. So that's why I strongly feel like this is a very one-sided matchup. Not to mention, you saw what the Niners did to the Rams. So, I mean, I think our defense, can do a little something, can get the ball into the hands of the offense. But then what? Cruiser, we're not winning this game. Let's keep it real. We're not winning this game. 35-7. We're not winning this game. Ain't no way. We're not winning this game. Dude, if we couldn't beat the Arizona Cardinals that had the worst ranked defense, we're not going to beat a team with the top ranked defense when Carolina has the worst ranked offense. Cruiser says, "Wow, no faith at all." Really, dude? Have you seen Carolina play this season? Have you seen them play this season? Have you seen them play this season? I'm not saying it's impossible, but in order for it to even have a shot, like I said, they have to play flawless on offense, defense, special teams, no turnovers. No turnovers. That's the only chance they really have. But I do agree that the Panthers will have to play a perfect game to beat the Niners. Facts. Oh man. I watched a bit of their game against the Giants. Ugh, yeah. Yeah. And like I said in the preview that I did for the Cardinals game, we really should have been able to trounce them. But we only got one offensive touchdown. It's crazy. C-Mac only had 8 carries too. Ridiculous. It's like we're scared to run the ball now. We're scared to run the ball. DJ Moore consistently getting wide open and ball not getting thrown to him at the right times. Just I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, but Baker Mayfield is really stinking it up a lot worse right now compared to Sam Darnold last year. Sad. It's really, really sad. Because I know there were some that were hopeful, but honestly, I think as time passes, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But I think at the end of the day, I just have a feeling we're going to be drafting a quarterback in the next draft. I just have that feeling. New coach, new quarterback. Ben McAdoo, I don't know what the heck he's doing. Ben McAdoo, his play calling's all over the place. All over the place. Cruiser says, how is the rookie first round offensive tackle playing? He's actually doing pretty good. He's actually doing pretty good. You know, he's actually been playing good. As a matter of fact, he has a PFF grade of 53.7 in 224 snaps so far. He's had 2 penalties and has allowed 3 sacks. That's not bad. That's not bad for his rookie year so far. That's actually not bad. Equanu's played pretty well. He's gonna win some, he's gonna lose some, but he's played pretty dang on well. Joe Valesco says, if we do draft a quarterback, you're picking Bryce Young. I've been hearing a lot of between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Like, I feel like folks are kind of, split down the middle between the two. I mean, I don't really know which one's better, but I hear a lot of folks are split down the middle between the two. I think overall, though, and even some folks were thinking about what was the other quarterback? There's another quarterback, Will Levis or Will Levis, or I don't know how to say his name, but that quarterback from Kentucky. But you know what they say about Ohio State quarterbacks, though. I mean, Ohio State quarterbacks haven't really had a good tenure in the NFL, unfortunately. So I don't know. Maybe CJ Stroud will break that curse. I don't know. But history shows that Ohio State quarterbacks haven't really thrived too well in the NFL. I'm just saying. Cruiser says, can't go wrong with either of those prospects. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I mean, seems like Bryce, CJ, and Will are the top 3. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, that's true about OSU quarterbacks, though. Yeah, I mean, who knows? You never know. Maybe CJ Stroud can break the curse. Maybe he'll be one of the first ones to break the curse. I mean, somebody's got to break the curse eventually, right? But we shall see. And dang, it's even so bad that a lot of folks are still considering the idea of giving Cam Newton a call. But honestly, don't don't bring Cam Newton back into this craziness. Nah. We got to leave Cam Newton out of this craziness, especially under Matt Rule. Nah. After all, think about why Luke Kuechly retired. Luke Kuechly ain't want to play with Matt Rule. I mean, the concussion stuff may have a good part in it, but he didn't want to play under Matt Rule. Let's keep it real. Cruiser says Young will get the nod for most people over Stroud just because of that stigma you mentioned about OSU quarterback prospects. Yeah, that much is true. Speaking of which, let me take a look at Bryce Young. But yeah, he remains day to day with a AC joint sprain. So Bryce Young dealing with some injury, but hopefully he'll be all right. They say it's not serious. But both quarterbacks have pretty similar stats. They both have pretty similar stats. Cruiser says Cam is a shell of himself. He'll never regain his 2015 All-Pro form. I mean, I do agree with that. The best I could see him getting is 2018, but still, even with the better offensive line, there's no point in bringing Cam back into this. There's no point. He had success with Carolina, but the organization did not do him well. So there's no point in bringing him back other than for him to retire. But yeah. And the what the really crazy thing is? We actually have a solid offensive line this season. So far, we've actually have a solid offensive line, something we haven't had in years. We actually have a solid offensive line right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yet still the offense struggles badly, especially when it comes to putting up points and moving the ball down the field. But yeah. I mean, I try to look at some of the positives as well, like our offensive line, kicker, Eddie Pinheiro. If we decide to move on from Zane Gonzalez, at least we got a kicker in Eddie Pinheiro. He's been perfect this season so far. So at least there's that. Frankie Louvu has emerged in a big, big way on defense. J.C. Horn. I mean, our defense is balling. Just, they're getting gassed from carrying the offense when it comes down to it. Cruiser says, does Baker Mayfield often have trouble connecting with his receivers downfield? Yep. Not only has he had trouble connecting with them, but DJ Moore has been wide open so much this season, and he will not look his way. Which reportedly was the same issue that he had in Cleveland with Odell Beckham Jr. And that's not good because DJ Moore is our number one. And I have a feeling the offense, especially Baker Mayfield, is probably going to be the reason why DJ Moore doesn't get 1,000 yards this year, like he's gotten the past like 3 or 4 years since after his rookie year. His rookie year so far is the only year he hasn't had 1,000 yards receiving. Yeah, not good at all, Cruza. Not good. DJ Moore is a baller. Yeah, and yet it's been in like the worst situations. Multiple quarterbacks. Man, could you imagine if he had a legit quarterback throwing to him? Shoot. He would end up being a top 5 receiver in the NFL. That's really why he hasn't really gotten the respect yet, because of the folks throwing to him. But this is rough, y'all. This is really rough. No Jeremy Chin. So either Justin Burris has to step up. I mean, I don't know another safety they should go to, but Justin Burris is going to have to step up, or Sam Franklin. Apparently, we picked up Marquise Blair as well as another safety. Oh man, this is going to be tough. This is going to be really tough. But got the Niners, then the Rams, and then the Buccaneers. Tough three games. Whichever safety can run and tackle best should be on the field against the Niners. I mean, Burris is the most experienced backup that we have. So, I mean, there's that. Sean Chandler's been kind of And like I said, one of the biggest liabilities that we have in that secondary is C.J. Henderson, which I don't think C.J. Henderson is going to last with Carolina. He's been our biggest liability on that secondary. Oh, man. But you know what? It's just going to really be sad, being that the last time we faced the Niners, they beat us 51-13. And I think Christian McCaffrey was the only one that got a touchdown in that game. Oh, man. Really curious to see who they'll put on Deebo Samuel, because pretty much Deebo Samuel's been leading the charge on that Niners offense, that receiving core. Cruiser says we'll also have to be able to recover some in-breaking crossing routes. Jimmy Garoppolo rarely throws to his receivers outside the numbers. That's true. That is true as well. That is true. And not to mention, they've taken pretty good care of the ball. That's another thing. They've taken pretty good care of the ball. So, And mostly the Niners, the games that they lost, dang, both games that they lost, they only scored 10 points in. Wow, that's interesting. 10 points in the Bears game, 10 points in the Broncos game, and they only lost by 1 point against the Broncos. But then they mollywopped the Seahawks and the Rams. So I just find it really funny that we have the worst offense, but yet we don't have the worst record. Oh, man. Trey Lance played most of the Bears game for the Niners. Yeah, that's right. He played until he got hurt. Yeah, he played till he got hurt. But uh but like I said, 35-7 is my score prediction for this game. 35-7 Niners. The one touchdown we get will be a garbage touchdown. But yeah, just I want to have faith in that there's a chance. Because I mean, of course there's a chance. They haven't played yet. Of course there's a chance, but I gotta keep it real. Like, what makes me think Carolina with the worst offense in the league going up against the best defense in the league will actually do any damage? Because I mean, a combination of how our offenses perform between Baker Mayfield, drop passes, turnovers, and the suspect play calling of Ben McAdoo. I mean, it's at the point where it's so bad. I know fans that actually miss Joe Brady. That says something. And he's over there in Buffalo now as the quarterback's coach. That says something. Oh man. I yeah, this is most likely going to be a molly whopping. We're going to get destroyed. Matt Rule still doing Matt Rule like things on the field as well as on the press conference podium. So I don't really expect anything to change. The man is 11-26 in his NFL career as a head coach. 11-26. Proud of yourself, aren't you? You shouldn't be. But I think ultimately, I know a lot of folks are wondering, like, how much longer is Matt Rule going to be on the hot seat? Like, what's the deal and whatnot? But looking at David Tepper, I honestly don't think he's gonna fire Matt Rule. Not until the end of the season. He might even make it all the way to the bye, but honestly, something tells me David Tepper's not going to let him go until at least the end of the season. And then it's like, Baker Mayfield doesn't turn things around, he's not going to get re-signed. Sam Darnold, I don't see him getting re-signed. Both are in their fifth-year option of their contracts. PJ Walker, I just really feel like, and I think Jeff R said it a while back. If this continues to go like it's going to go, there's probably going to be some sort of reset button hit on this Carolina Panthers team. And that may involve shuffling a lot of people, getting rid of a lot of people. And don't forget, they got the cap space issue going into this upcoming off season. They're going to have the cap space issue. So that's another thing they got to worry about. Cruiser says, yeah, I think Sam Darnold has already thrown his last pass as a Panther. Yeah. I mean, unless he comes back and Baker just keeps stinking it up, that's really the only possible chance he might get, but I doubt it. I imagine the leash is getting shorter for Baker Mayfield as well. Facts. So, but I just have this feeling they're going to end up hitting the reset button. And I think a lot of what that reset button is going to look like is Matt Rule being let go, and they bring somebody in who's probably, going to also revamp the coaching squad or the coaching staff. That's probably going to get a revamping to some degree. And I think they're going to go get their quarterback. Christian McCaffrey. Could this be his last season as a Carolina Panther? Then there's been talks about the idea of trading him for a long time now. So who's to say that it doesn't happen eventually? Because Christian McCaffrey, great player, just not on a good team. So, I mean, that's really how it's been. Joe Velasco says, don't say that. I like Christian McCaffrey. I like him too, but he's a great player on a trash team. I mean, and that's the truth. He's a great player on a trash team. So, I mean, since he's been in the league, he's only tasted the playoffs once. Cruiser says the Panthers front office is likely looking for the best offensive-minded coach as the next head coach for the team. Facts. I think that's what it's going to take. Because like I said, I think the defense is fine. I think we definitely got something good in the defense currently. I think having an offensive-minded coach is going to really, really help. Because our offense has been MIA. Our offense has been MIA. So I think it would really help. Like maybe like a Byron Leftwich, a Eric Bieniemy, whoever that offensive coordinator from the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I think it's Ben Johnson or something like that. Like, we need some sort of offensive-minded coach. We need a change. We need a big change because our weapons are not being utilized at all. And that's another issue, especially going into this Niners game. Our weapons are not being utilized. We're not using Deontay Foreman. We barely used Laviska Shenault. We're barely using Rashard Higgins. Oh, Ben Johnson is the Lions offensive coordinator. Okay, I had that wrong. So the Lions offensive coordinator. But yeah, like we're not utilizing our weapons. I mean, Christian McCaffrey just came off an 8-carry, 27-yard game, barely using Hubbard in the offense, barely using Deontay Foreman. Like, they are not using their weapons. Terrace Marshall Jr. can't stay healthy. And that was a second-round draft pick. I mean, it's crazy. Cruiser says 8 carries is nowhere near enough for him to get any rhythm. C-Mac. You think that's bad? That Browns game, in the first half, we only had 6 total rushing attempts as a team. 6 total rushing attempts in that first half. That's unacceptable, especially when you have an offensive line built for the run game. Balls getting batted down at the line. They had like 9 or 10 batted balls in that Arizona game. That's unacceptable. Like, I don't get that. But yeah, there's so many issues with the offense. Like I said, I can't give the Carolina Panthers defense too much crap. Because they've played well for the most part. Yeah, it was unfortunate that, they didn't finally start getting turnovers until the Saints game. But for the most part, the defense has held their own. It's hard to do that when they're on the field like a good 70-80% of the time because the offense can't score or capitalize on takeaways. Cruiser says, do the Panthers try to run any bootlegs to move the quarterback launch point? Nope. The only times we really see Baker Mayfield move is when he has to scramble. But bootlegs? Nah. What are those? Non-existent in Ben McAdoo's offense, apparently. As far as the defense, like I said, CJ Henderson, liability. I still don't think we blitz enough. Like, they don't blitz enough. Cruiser says the Panthers' problems sound a lot like the Bucks' problems, but it seems that Tampa Bay is finally getting their offense on track. Shoot, Bucks are in a whole better position than us. Shoot, the Bucks, yeah, they're in a whole better position than the Panthers. The Bucks and the Panthers are like night and day, especially considering Panthers haven't beaten the Bucks in a number of years. Last time we beat the Bucks, we had Kyle Allen as our quarterback. That should tell you something. Yeah, until Carolina can finally beat the Bucks again, they will forever be a threat. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. But we'll see who actually shows up and makes some plays this Sunday. Maybe. Louvu, Frankie Louvu, pay that man. I know we got him for two seasons, but we got to pay that man. Definitely got to pay that man. I guess what do y'all got for me? Like I really don't know what else to say about this matchup. Because honestly, I don't see us winning. I really don't. It's gonna take a miracle. It's gonna take a miracle. It's gonna take a legit miracle. Like it's gonna take like an angels in the outfield type of miracle for Carolina. Like we legit need a Carolina Panthers version of angels in the outfield. Yeah. So that they'll have to let me know when they do casting for that. But yeah, because that's legit what it's gonna take. We're gonna need angels in the outfield in the Bank of America Stadium. Angels in Bank of America Stadium. That's what we're gonna need. Cruiser says it's still early in the season. The Panthers offense can still get back on track eventually. This is true, but they need but let me ask you something, Cruiser. Do you think they actually will get on track under Ben McAdoo, under Matt Rule? That's the ultimate challenge. That is a ginormous challenge. Because my big argument for Matt Rule was if Ron Rivera can do it in year 3, then Matt Rule should be able to. I just don't think he will. I don't think he will. Like Matt Rule has not given me or any Carolina Panthers fan any sort of reason why we should trust him. Ben McAdoo so far has not given us any reason why we should trust his play calling. Baker Mayfield is having footsies problems. And the crazy thing is, the offensive line is giving him time. The offensive line is performing well and giving him time. And Baker Mayfield is having footsies problems and throwing the balls too low. Cruiser says, is Matt Rule too stubborn to make drastic changes if necessary? Yes. Extremely stubborn. Hey, B Ryder, welcome to the stream. Did you ever think as a fan base we would be excited about getting Sam Darnold back? And that's sad. That's sad. And the thing is, I mean, I hope he heals back, but they put Sam Darnold out there, it's not going to be a different outcome. It's not going to be a different result. A lot of people want to believe it's going to be a different result with Sam Darnold. No, it's not. No, it's not. PJ Walker? No, it's not. Shoot, if anything, I feel the worst for Matt Corral. I feel the worst for him. Because I don't even know if Matt Corral will even get another shot if this season goes like it possibly could go. Cruiser says, yikes. But at least Darnold did find DJ Moore on the field. DJ Moore did get 1,000. He did get 1,000. But his touchdown count suffered. That's the only thing. His touchdown count still suffered. And that's been one of the big things that's suffering for DJ Moore. Great wide receiver, great yak, tons of yardage. Dude just has a low touchdown count, and it's sad. But you have to consider the quarterbacks he's had. So, but yeah, like, at this point, when it comes to the offense, folks just make plays. Just go out and make plays, the positive kind. Baker, C-Mac, DJ, Robbie, Shy, LaVisca, the offensive line, Tremble, Thomas, all y'all, just offense, go out and make plays, positive plays that lead to scoring points. Need to score points. Offense barely even gets to the red zone, if hardly ever. B. Ryder says, I know everyone is doom and gloom, but if the play calling gets better and the run game increases, I think we'll win games. I agree. I agree. But like you said, that involves better play calling. And honestly, will Ben McAdoo do that? I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I mean, so far this season, we've barely even touched Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Foreman out of the backfield. So that's already one issue there. And not getting the ball to DJ Moore enough, which I blame partly on Baker Mayfield because the dude just don't throw his way. And then we got to factor in the schedule, the remaining schedule. These next 3 games, Niners, Rams, Bucks. And it's like I said before, I used to think we were going to sweep the Falcons this season. Not anymore. Not anymore. McAdoo is definitely a problem. Not sure what the Panthers saw in him. I mean, I don't know. A lot of folks say Joe Brady was the scapegoat, but McAdoo, I guess the real thing that was there was, I guess, the experience factor, which, I mean, Joe Brady, wasn't really an offensive coordinator. He was a passing game coordinator. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, but, Besides, I don't think Ben McAdoo is a fan of Baker Mayfield anyway. But, Matt Rule stresses that Baker Mayfield's still our guy. Still our guy. I mean, look at the leaders on offense. Baker Mayfield, 747 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a QBR of 15.0. 15.0. Christian McCaffrey, 58 carries, 270 yards, 1 touchdown. And he does have 1 receiving touchdown as well. Best receiver, Robbie Anderson, 174 yards receiving on 12 catches, 1 touchdown. Yeah, Cruiser, a QBR of 15.0. That's Baker Mayfield. Last in the league. Last. Dead last. 15.3 to be specific. 15.3. Dead last in the league for quarterbacks, QBR. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's only had 1 game so far where he's thrown over 200 yards, and that was the first game against the Browns. First game, 235, then 145, then 170, then 197. This dude can't even barely get 200 yards passing. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. In the Arizona game, he had a QBR of 7.4. 7.4. B. Ryder says, and Baker said he didn't care about the fans. Where to go getting us on board. Yep. Like, he's completely lost the fans with that statement, personally. Matt Rule's already been losing the locker room, but Baker Mayfield definitely lost the fans on that statement. Yeah, Cruiser, the revenge game. Yeah, against the Browns, which that was spoiled. But I mean, just that Arizona game, a QBR 7.4. Ugh. Ugh. Whoo, man. And you know what the sad thing is? Two of my coworkers are 49ers fans, and one of them is going to the game. One of them's going to the game. Goodness gracious. I mean, what is going on? B. Ryder says, I think we only have Baker this year to fulfill the 5th-year contract option from Cleveland. Yes, this is a 5th-year option. This is the one. Vietnam, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. But yeah, B. Ryder, that is correct. Him and Sam Darnold are actually on their 5th-year options this season as we speak. But yeah. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Vietnam says, I can't complain. Oh, that's good. That's good. Could y'all possibly see Baker Mayfield getting benched before the bye week? Could y'all see him getting benched before the bye week? Remember, this season, our bye is week 13th. But The Baker Mayfield project might be over before it's really gotten to the middle of the season, unfortunately. Vietnam says yes. B. Ryder says absolutely. Like, I mean, at least Sam Darnold surprisingly got us to 3-0 before that project started failing. Vietnam says put Sam or PJ in and let them play. So Sam still isn't ready to come back yet. He still has a little ways to go, so he's not quite ready. And PJ, I mean, well, it can't hurt at this point. I mean, the season is still early on paper. The season's still early on paper. It's just there's a lot of things going wrong with the offense. And it doesn't make it any better being that they're about to play the top ranked defense in the NFL. 49ers, number one ranked defense. Carolina Panthers, number 32 ranked offense. So, but I think really the sad thing is Baker has only had one 200 plus yard passing game this season so far. The only thing that can hurt is limping to a 7-win season and missing out on the top 3 draft picks. Well, shoot. Perhaps. Maybe. Cruiser says it can be a 13-10 type of game. Like defensive battle. I mean, it's not impossible, but we can't rely on the defense to win this game for us. We can't. Our offense is too bad, and our defense is on the field too much for them to be consistently relied upon. We abuse the abuse. We need a quarterback and a new offensive-minded head coach. Agreed. Definitely agreed. Cruiser says the Panthers will have to force turnovers to give themselves a chance to beat the 49ers. Yeah, but the offense is going to have to capitalize on said turnovers unless they're able to get fumble recoveries for touchdowns and pick sixes. Vietnam says, would you be happy with 7 wins? No, because 7 wins don't equal playoffs. 7 wins don't equal playoffs. B. Ryder says, the running game can clean all the passing woes up. I mean, boring run plays over and over. It will force 8 in the box and open the passing lanes. Well, we don't run the ball enough. So, I mean, we could definitely run the ball a lot more because we don't run the ball enough. I mean, this last game, we only had 13 total rushing attempts. It's crazy. Vietnam says the offense hasn't done anything to make me believe that they can win, and that's the issue. That's the overall issue. Like, this defense can't be forced to carry this offense the entire season. That is not going to get them a playoff spot. They might be able to squeeze out a few wins, but nothing really worthwhile. Vietnam says people don't pay to go to games to see running because running plays over and over again. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The defense will tire and fall apart. Yeah, which is pretty much what's been happening. Jeff R., welcome to the stream. Blitz, a nightmare would be us winning 9 games, which would allow us to extend Rule and Baker while losing our draft position. The only way out of this mess is to wash the season. We're done. But to do that means to quit. And I don't believe in quitting. Doesn't matter how bad it is. I don't believe in quitting. And that's just me. That's just me. Like, I don't believe in quitting. Like, I get where you're coming from, but I don't believe in quitting. No matter what. No matter what. I don't believe in quitting. 9 games. I'm not too sure 9 games would extend Rule and Baker because that wouldn't equal a playoff spot. I think regardless, if they don't make the playoffs, they're gone. That's my thought. That's my thought. I know, but wins put people in seats as well. Facts. We won't sniff 9 games. Yeah, probably not. We don't have to quit. We suck, bro. Just keep doing what we're doing. But that's the thing. Like, we're settling. Like, in a way that's settling. That's saying, okay, we suck. There's no possible way that we can do better or make things better despite being early in the season. That's what I'm saying. Because you have to think about it. The players are not going to go in with that mentality. The players are not going to have that mentality. So, that's the only thing with that. I mean, yeah, we're bad. And this wasn't the only time that we were bad and then came back and did a little something, something. Was it too late? Sometimes, but not every single time. I don't expect this team, if the team can make a big comeback, I'm all for it. I'm all for it because that's what their job is. That's what their job is to do. Now, whether they do it or not is up to them, but that's still their job. So, optimistic, sure, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But I think one thing, the coaching, especially on an offensive side and from a head coaching perspective, needs a lot of fixing, overall. Vietnam says we lost Chen for the season. Whoa! I don't think we lost him for the season. Nah, we're not. We didn't lose him for the season. That's not confirmed. That's not confirmed. And will be another big name that goes down. We are tanking, plain and simple. No. Tanking is a coward move. I will never support tanking. I don't care what the benefits are from it. I will never support tanking. Tanking equals quitting. Oh yeah, there it is, Jeff. Jeff R is the coaching blitz. We can't change that. This is his 3rd season, still under average. It is what it is, and that is a fact. That is a fact. Wait, Coach Rule said it was season-ending IR? Really? According to the article, they said he was out the next 4 weeks. Wow. So they upgraded the severity to season ending? Really? Wow. Because the article on Panthers.com says it's for at least the next 4 weeks. Wow. So it got upgraded to season ending? Really? No freaking way. Wow. Wow. It's actually season ending. Wait a minute. I know how you feel about tanking. He can come back after 6 weeks, but then by then the season will be over, so it might as well. But that's not season ending. That's not season ending IR though. That's not what that is though. That's the thing. That's not what that is. Because two articles are saying out for at least 4 weeks. ESPN and Panthers.com. Um, our season has ended. No, I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that. When I know that we're eliminated from the playoff contention, that's when I know our season's ended. I'm not making that same mistake that I did a bunch of years ago when we made the playoffs at 7, 8, and 1. I don't care what anybody says. Y'all are not going to convince me that this season is over. I am not going to make that mistake. I've made it once before. I will never make that again. I get where y'all are coming from, but I gave up on my team once before and it backfired on me. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Period. Call me crazy, call me every name in the book, go for it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Why would Shin come back in 6 weeks? He's too important to be playing for nothing. We still don't know what's going to happen. We can speculate and predict, of course, but we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. I hope I'm wrong in my prediction of this next game because this next game looks very one-sided. This next game looks very, very one-sided. Uh Jeff R says Blitz 1 and 3 teams don't go to the playoffs, and we got worse every week. We did it in 2013. Did we not do it in 2013? We did it in 2013. See, B Rider, he's got the right attitude. Haven't given up yet. Panthers have surprised me before. Hey, Kevin McFarland, welcome to the stream. Hello, this is going to be a 2015 dominance on offense. Trust me. My score prediction's 44-16. Panthers, just joking. I was thinking 35-7, but dang. Vietnam, we were 1 and 3 the first 4 games. I'm looking right at it. We were 1 and 3 the first 4 games in 2013, Vietnam. Yes, we were. Yes, we were. We lost the first 2 games, then beat New York, and then lost to Arizona. Yes, we did. I'm looking right at it. Yes, I understand. Same, different roster, but still, I'm not going to count anything out until it's officially out. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? That's my only question. What's wrong with that? That's the year we beat the Giants 38-0. That is correct, Vietnam. That is correct. We had the early bye week. And like I said, the only reason why I mentioned the 7-8-1 season is because I gave up on us. That's the only reason why I keep mentioning 7-8-1, because I gave up on us. I mean, think about it. From week 3 to week 13 of 2014, we were 3-8-1. 3-8-1. And I gave up on our team. And we won the last 4 games to not only make the playoffs, but we also won a playoff game, which happened to be against Arizona. I'm sorry. I'm not making that mistake. Kevin McFarland, we have yet to have a 35-plus point game yet. We're just not exiting to watch anymore. No amazing receivers or tight ends. Yeah, so far, it seems. We didn't have the league's worst offense in 2013 either. What does it matter? It's 3-8-1 until we made a comeback. 3-8-1 was nothing positive to look at that time. Like, understand the point that I'm making. No. Vietnam, not 2013, 2014. 2013 was the 12-4 year. 2014 was the 7-8-1 year. Yeah, 2014. That's the only point that I'm making. Not to mention, those losses were pretty bad losses. Those were pretty bad losses as well. Yeah, I mean, we can't score. We can't. I mean, that's definitely apparent. I mean, we have the worst offense currently. I mean, shoot, you could argue we beat the number 1 team in the Arizona Cardinals at the time of week 10 last year. But look at how our season went. I'm just saying. Understand the point that I'm making. I'm not going to count out a team until they are officially eliminated. I'm not going to do that. I made that mistake once. I'm not going to do it again. Kevin says this is the worst Panthers offense in many years. Very simplistic play calling, no trick plays. A few. Just the last one that they did, Mr. Higgins fumbled. And then Johnny Hecker tried a trick play that, it got called back due to the flag. No, nothing, and the only positive is Frankie Louvu. He is amazing. Yes, pay that man. I know we got him for 2 years, but we may need to lock him up for more. Van says, I understand your point, but my point is with the worst offense, we can sustain any drives or give the defense a break. That's why we're not winning nothing. That's what the case is. Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, Vietnam, what if they actually do turn it around? I'm not saying that they're going to, but I'm not going to allow myself to give up on my team if they end up turning it around. If we've seen this team do it before in past years when we logistically should have been counted out, 2014 for example. Let me ask you a question, Vietnam. Honest question. Honest question. Honest question. When we were at 3-8-1, did you count out the Carolina Panthers? Just honest question. Just honest question. I'll answer truthfully. Yes, I did count them out. Because my thing is, as much, yeah, exactly, Vietnam. So, how did you feel when we won those last 4 games and made the playoffs? How did you feel then after we won those last 4 games? In very impressive fashion. Kevin says they can definitely turn it around, but needs to stay focused and just catch the ball and allow the receivers to play well. Exactly. Not to mention, they turned it around late in the season after the bye week. Phantom says, I bash Riverboat every day. I was mad that we missed out on the top draft pick. But why, though, if we made the playoffs? We even won a game. What? Why? When we made the playoffs and even won a game? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, but why is that, though? Like, we had a shot. We made it to the playoffs. We beat Arizona. We got stuck against Seattle, but still, we made it. We made it to the divisional game. I knew that we couldn't win the Super Bowl, so I'm not the one who wants his team to make the playoffs and not win at all. But I mean, but at the same time, you know how difficult it is to win the Super Bowl? The Patriots got it on a perfect record and failed in the big game. We almost had a perfect record and failed in the big game. Do you know how difficult that is? Like, that's why there's multiple seeds. Like, I just feel that it's not logical for a team to make the playoffs and then just assume that they're going to lose. I don't get that. I really don't get that. I mean, shoot, we made it to the playoffs in 2013 on a 12-4 record and lost the first game, and we were undefeated at home. And we got destroyed by the Niners. I mean, same thing happened when Jake Delhomme played. That one year, his last real successful stint, made it to the playoffs, undefeated at home, lost the first game in the playoffs. But at 7-8-1, we weren't winning no Super Bowl. We didn't even at 15-1. That's the point that I'm making. We didn't even do it at 15-1, nor the first Super Bowl appearance. That's what I'm saying. Like, getting to the Super Bowl is difficult regardless of the record. I mean, getting to the playoffs is hard enough, but getting to the Super Bowl and winning it, that's freaking difficult for any team. For any team. Getting to the playoffs on an undefeated record is impressive, but that doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl run. Because you got to remember, one loss and you out. One loss and you out. And on any given day, the worst team could end up beating the better team like that on any given day. Why do you think it happens so much in college football? Let me get caught up. I feel like the Panthers players also respected veteran leadership in Ron Rivera during the 2015 season. That is a good point. We aren't a playoffs team, especially not right now. I just don't want to lose our draft position. We are only a quarterback and a head coach away from being contenders. We can fix both our problems in the offseason if we can't draft a quarterback. And I mean, technically, we did draft one this season. He just got hurt. So we didn't really get a chance to see what he could do, unfortunately. It was like kind of like a little bitty taste in the preseason, which wasn't too good. I feel bad for Matt Corral. Y'all don't feel bad for Matt Corral? Y'all don't feel bad for him? Maybe I'm alone on that one. Vietnam, got a question for you. Ask away, my friend. Ask away. Yeah, look at it. 27 Patriots. They lost to the Giants. Correct. New head coach won't want Corral, so that's not going to work. He'll want to draft his own quarterback. Well, at least Vietnam feels bad for him. You don't feel bad for him, Jeff R? Kevin doesn't feel bad for him. Dang. Yikes. Oh, you do feel bad for him? Gotcha. I had to know. Okay, Vietnam's question. After these 4 games, we all see where we have to upgrade. In what way can we fill those holes? If we can't draft high enough? Well, here's the thing. It's gonna be hard, even still, because don't forget we got the cap space issue to fix as well. I mean, the draft is one thing, but we still got the cap space issue as well. Not to mention, like, with our tenure, we're going to have to try to figure out folks that actually want to come and play for us. That's another thing, too. Like, who out there wants to play for us? It's definitely, you got a valid question there. But, and then not only that, we could always see trade options, which honestly, I think our trade options might be limited due to us giving up draft picks in previous trades, especially from last season. So honestly, I mean, it's a lot of issues. I mean, with what we have now, plus the cap space issue, like, I mean, it's more than just the draft. It's more than just the draft. Kevin says our team is just an absolute mess. It's almost too much to handle at this point. It's been rough. It's been really, really rough. It's been really rough. There's still time to make changes, but they're going to have to make the changes and they're going to have to be executed near flawlessly, just about. Jeff R makes, as much as I hate the fact that Jeff R said it, that might be what has to happen. At least one, maybe two of those. Shop CMC and DJ, despite we just paid DJ and Burns, which isn't Burns on his last year. This is his last year on his contract, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is Burns' last year on his contract. Matt Rule is watching the tape on offense. Well, it is okay. Okay, thank you for confirming that. Yeah, but then again, there comes the other issue. Carolina sometimes, like with certain players, they don't make an effort to keep. Like, I really regret them not trying to keep Hassan Reddick. And I'm not saying that they didn't try, but oh man, we really could have used Hassan Reddick, especially in our pass rush. Like, oh my God, that I hate that we couldn't keep him. Get rid of Burns before the trade deadline. It was the trade deadline, week 8, right? Ugh. Yeah, Burns. I have mixed feelings about because the dude was a Pro Bowler. So I have mixed feelings. But Burns still has his struggles with over pursuing. Just it's just gonna look really bad when we have good talent and just we fail to keep them. We fail to keep them. So it'll be really wacky. What is your score prediction? Honestly, 35-7. And that's based off of the fact that it's the number one ranked defense in the Niners going up against the number 32 ranked offense in Carolina. The only chance that I could see Carolina pulling off a miracle of a win, they would have to play near flawless on offense, defense, special teams, and have no turnovers. That's really the only chance I could see Carolina pulling off a miracle. And a lot of things have to happen. Like 13 rushing attempts total, that's not going to cut it. Not using Deontay Foreman when we have a fresh Deontay Foreman, a fresh Chuba Hubbard, a fresh Rashard Higgins. Laviska Shenault might be questionable. Well, he is questionable, unfortunately. But just not opening up the playbook. Baker Mayfield's got to quit doing footsies and make the throw. So if it ends up being another game where the defense has to try to win it for us, I just it's not that I'm not confident that it can't happen. It's just the defense. Y'all have seen what happens when the defense gets gassed and other liabilities. CJ Henderson, still not getting enough pressure on from the D line on the blitz either because we're not. Let me ask y'all something. I don't think we blitz enough. What do y'all think? Do y'all think we blitz enough? I don't think we blitz enough. What y'all think? I don't think we blitz enough. I could be wrong, but just from my observation, I don't think we blitz enough. Jeff R says 31-10. So he's a little more generous than me. But yeah, I don't think we blitz enough. I think that's something that Phil Snow should be a little more aggressive at. We could blitz some more. Because I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, we could disrupt Jimmy Garoppolo. We just got to be aggressive on the blitzing. And then another thing, who do you put on Debo Samuel? Because Debo Samuel can be lined up all over the field. So, I mean, do you put JC on Debo? Do you put Dante on Debo? Because Debo, they're going to have him lined up all over the place. I would imagine. So Debo's somebody to look out for, of course. As a matter of fact, let me take a look at their previous games because I'm kind of curious because I know that Jawan Jennings, he's questionable. So I mean, they've had a couple of names stand out. I mean, Debo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, that who's that? Who's that other guy? Brandon Ayuk kind of stood out some. So I mean, it's kind of I think it's gonna come down to we just gotta fluster um Jimmy Garoppolo. Vietnam says, I think that will be a beatdown of epic proportions, 52-zip. Well, Vietnam, if you want to get technical, they did beat us 51-13 in 2019. So that's not too far off. They've actually put up 51 points against us in the last meeting. So 49ers score three defensive touchdowns and run for 250 yards total. Dang, 3 defensive touchdowns? Ugh. Yikes. That would be scary. But yeah, they beat us last time 51-13. And I think Christian McCaffrey was the only one that got the only touchdown for Carolina in that game. And that was back when we had Kyle Allen. But I just not gonna give up on my team till it's over. But they're making it very difficult. Making it very difficult. So, according to ESPN insiders, if it came down to it, if Matt Rule were to get fired right now, Steve Wilkes would probably get the first nod at interim head coach. But the thing that I'm kind of hesitant about is Steve Wilkes doesn't have a good head coaching record in the NFL. That's the only thing. But he could potentially turn things around and make an impact. But officially, for the record, he does not have a great head coaching record in the NFL. I'm just saying. He had 1 year with Arizona, they got fired. So, Phantom says, yes, they beat the snot out of us. I lost $50 that game. Shoot, you think that's bad? I got 2 coworkers and they're both Niner fans, and I got a bunch of crap after that game from one of them. And then one of them is going to the game this Sunday. Will actually be at the game this Sunday. So I feel you on that. But man, you know what? Let me check a stat. There's a stat that I want to check. Okay, Browns game. Browns game, we ran the ball 19 total times. Okay. The Giants game, we ran the ball 23 times. The Saints game, which is our only win, we ran the ball 31 times. And then this previous loss to the Cardinals, we ran the ball 13 times. Ugh. That negatively fluctuating run game we have. Phantom says, I hate to say this, so please forgive me. No, speak your mind. You know you can speak your mind. You know you can speak your mind here. But I think that draft position is more important than Wilkes winning meaningless games. My thing with that, Vietnam, is how exactly are they meaningless when they're not officially out yet? I could understand if they were officially out, but they're not. I mean, it's about to be week 5? They're not officially out. Because you have to understand, the players don't see those as meaningless games. You got to remember, they're the one playing the games, but they don't see that as many meaningless games. I mean, you'd have to think, a lot of them, especially being that they're, out there, collecting a paycheck, making money, doing what they do. But it's like, it's hard to say meaningless games if they're not officially out. Could they be out quicker than we know it? Sure, very possible, especially if they keep going the rate that they're going. But I'm not going to discredit the possibility of a turnaround because it's still a possibility. Still a possibility. Whether it's on paper or speculative, there's still a possibility. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I have a feeling that it could get worse before it gets better. My thing is, are the folks going to stick around through the worse all the way to the better? That's another thing that I'm curious to see. I'm really curious to see. Because honestly, part of me feels like we don't deserve to win a championship. And the reason why I say that is because honestly, as a fan base, I don't think we would truly appreciate it. If we won the Super Bowl, I don't think we would fully appreciate it. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I say that based on past history. And, of course, I have to say it. One piece of evidence that does stand out the most, gotta say it, Cam Newton. It depends on when Rule is fired. That could be a key point there. That could be a very key point there. I mean, shoot. Who's to say that's all that it takes? Maybe that's all that it takes. That could be all that it takes. Shoot. But whatever sort of necessary changes that they need to make, they might want to go ahead and make them ASAP when there's still an opportunity to right this ship. Right the wrongs of this ship. That's what I meant to say. Right the wrongs of this ship. We would appreciate it, Blitz. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. You know why I say I'm not so sure? Is because one particular thing, not only just Cam Newton, but I have to talk about it. The fact that this man has gotten more negative than positive with the fan base, despite all that he's done for the organization. There's a lot of negative that sticks out compared to the positive. Would I want Zach Wilson right now? I mean, I was interested in him in the beginning just based on what he did for what was it, BYU? I would have been fine with him. I would have taken a chance on him. Sure. I would have taken a chance on him. And the thing is, another thing I want to throw out there is, like I said, any team that's able to make the playoffs on a fairly ugly record. I'll say this, a fairly ugly record, like a wild card, at least a wild card. That ends up winning the Super Bowl. Combined with a similar situation to 2014. Because, I mean, you said it yourself, Vietnam. You were angry with Ron Rivera, 2014. You wanted that draft position. So even if they were to somehow win the Super Bowl, but you would have wanted the draft position. But we would have never known. We're going after the draft position. Like, honestly, the only time I would even think about the draft position is if we're out of the playoffs. It's impossible to make the playoffs. No more short quarterbacks, please. Oh Lord. I have to agree with you on that. Let me ask y'all this, since we're on the subject of quarterbacks. What do y'all think about what is it, CJ Stroud? Because a lot of folks are saying maybe he could break the curse. Maybe he could break the Ohio State quarterback curse in the NFL, perhaps. If we would have lost to the football team, we could have drafted him, but since we won that meaningless game, it pushed us down to eighth. But it wasn't meaningless because we were still in playoff contention. We still had a shot at the playoffs. Uh, Jeff R says he's my pick. Him or the kid from Kentucky. What was it? Something lit. I said his name earlier. Will Levis or Will Levi's. I don't know how you say his name. I don't know how you say his name. Will Levi's or something like that. But yeah, a lot of talk between those three about those three quarterbacks mainly. But that's the only thing I'm saying, Vietnam. Like, I understand how you feel. I just don't want to ever get to the point where I feel that way and then it gets turned around in time for an impact to happen. And then we win the big one. Then it's like, I don't want to fall for that. Me personally, I can only speak for myself. I don't want to fall for that. I don't want to fall for that. Because because technically on paper, you know, if you're considering, those games meaningless when we're not out of the picture, I mean, one could argue that you're submitting, that you're tapping out. One could argue that. One could argue that. Which, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It's totally okay. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I made that mistake once. I'm not going to do that. Wait, which one is like a Josh Allen? Oh, the Will Levi's is like a Josh Allen. I know. I think I had on here. It was. Hold on. Let me pull this back up. Let me pull this back up. So Bryce Young is the one that's dealing with a nagging day to day. I feel you, bro. I just want a high flying, dynamic, balanced offense that can win any type of game. I mean, which can happen, but I mean, is it really here? How can I put this? It will better our chances for sure, but is a 9-7 team making the playoffs and winning the Super Bowl any less of an impact versus a team that goes undefeated and wins the Super Bowl? You see what I mean? Is it that much different of an impact? You know what I mean? Joe Valesco really wants Bryce Young. So we got a Bryce Young. We got Will Levi's. Bryce seems like he'll be injury prone to me. I don't know. He's dealing with a nagging injury, and apparently Levi's is questionable currently. What's going on with him? I'm curious to see what's going on with him. Undisclosed apparently. Interesting. Bryce Young is short, only at 6 feet tall. So wait, who's the tallest? Looks like Will Levi's and C.J. Stroud. Both for 6'3". The year we were losing with Teddy, I wanted us to keep losing and we wouldn't be having quarterback issues right now. The thing with that year, like, we were in a lot of those games. Like, you take a drive or a turnover away, those games are wins. So I mean, there were a lot of close games that year. And I kind of feel bad for Teddy Bridgewater. I felt like he was kind of a scapegoat. Yeah, I really feel like Teddy Bridgewater is kind of a scapegoat that year, unfortunately. Not to mention, I give you another example, Fatnam. I'll give you another example. Last season, when we went 3-0 to start the season off, what was one of the first things a lot of fans said? We ain't beat nobody. When we started off 3-0, a lot of fans, first thing they said was, we ain't really beat nobody. It's like a win's a win, though, right? We're supposed to win games, right? So that's one of the issues that I have, you know, with the fan base sometimes. It's like we were, 3-0. It's like, dang, you're gonna just discredit that? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of an issue. And that's another piece of evidence. Like, don't get me wrong. The 15-1 run was unbelievable. Like, I'm still shocked to this day that we even pulled that off. 9-7, 15-2 doesn't matter to me. So no, it makes no difference. I just want a quarterback to be a perennial Pro Bowler who can throw for 5,000 yards every year and 40 touchdowns. Do you know how hard it is to do that? 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. That is in the NFL. That's freaking difficult.
Girl, you can do better. At least with your big name wireless carrier. With Xfinity Mobile, you can get unlimited for $30 per month on it.
That's freaking difficult. Shoot, I even look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he's only done that. Let's see, 5,000 yards. He's only done that twice in his career. And 40 or more touchdowns, only done it 3 times in his career. Like, that's difficult. Like that's difficult. Shoot, Cam Newton didn't even do that, and he won an MVP. So, and that's another thing. Despite his accuracy woes, he still won an MVP, which is very impressive. If you ask me. Um, yeah, it's extremely hard. Breeze, Manning. Wait, which Manning? Peyton. I assume Peyton. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, he's done it once. Patrick Mahomes has done it once in his NFL career. Shoot, as a matter of fact, Aaron Rodgers has never thrown for 5,000 yards in his career. And he's hit 40 touchdowns 3 times. So Aaron Rodgers definitely, as far as the touchdowns, but Aaron Rodgers has never thrown for 5,000 yards in his NFL career. I mean, those are that's huge. Um, and I think Cam had 4,000 in his rookie season, if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly. ESPN said that we didn't play anyone too, and they were right. But at the same time, you're still supposed to win those games. Kind of like how there are games that we lost this season that we really should have won. The Arizona game, the Giants game, and the Browns game, sure, but the Arizona game and the Giants game, we should have won and we lost. So it's like we lose the games and it's like, oh, we should have won those games. Those are garbage games we should have won. But then if we win them, it's like, y'all didn't really play anybody. Like, you see where I'm getting at? Like, you you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. But I think if anything, going back to Teddy Bridgewater, who was a game manager, despite being a game manager, we were still in a lot of those games. We were in a lot of those games, despite Bridgewater being a game manager. Dang, I was missing that. Cam had Chuddy through for 4K, then he just stopped throwing that much. Yeah, that was the only time his rookie year that he threw 4K. And then it was a bunch of 3,000s. But his completion percentage then took a big jump. Because, he had the highest when he was working under, oh my God, what's his name? North Turner. North Turner. Now that I think of it, it's hard. It's really hard to say who the best in the Cam Newton era. It's kind of hard to say who was his best offensive coordinator. I mean, Norv Turner really helped with the completion percentage. And, we had Mike Shula when we went to the Super Bowl. And, Chudzinski was there for Cam's rookie year. So I don't know. Who was his best offensive coordinator at the time? That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. You look at Lamar Jackson for a second.
Come be a part of a once-in-a-lifetime.
Let me see. What year did Lamar Jackson win MVP? Lamar Jackson. 2019. That's right. 2019. Now, see, with Lamar Jackson, I can see why Lamar Jackson broke out and is a great quarterback. Say a lot of folks can say a lot of things about Lamar Jackson, running quarterback, but that man took care of the football. His one bad season was 2021. He threw 13 picks. But I mean, his first year, 3 picks. Second, 6. Third, 9. But touchdowns, so much higher. Currently, 11 touchdowns, 4 picks. Overall, he takes good care of the football. I mean, yeah, is he a running quarterback? Sure. But that man took good care of the football in his NFL career so far. I mean, 95 touchdowns to 35 interceptions. That's shoot. And he's only 25. Fandom says Chudzinski, Rob Chudzinski was the best to me. Turner improved his completion percentage by force feeding CMC and short passes. Well, I mean, it worked out, and he was on his way to another MVP season until he got hurt. So, I mean, guess that was the trade-off for that. Which, I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him for that. Just that was the apparent trade-off. But I ain't mad at him for that type of adjustment. And then he also had to change his throwing mechanic too. There's also that. But so Chudzinski for you. I don't know. That's tough. I mean, I would say he's definitely a better offensive coordinator than head coach. That's for sure. But you do got to give Chudzinski credit. Vietnam. That's a good argument, being that at the time in 2010, Carolina had the worst offense. Of course, the whole what was it? David Carr, what's his name? Jimmy Clausen era. Ugh. And then, yeah, he was a big part of turning it into a top 10 offense. So that's it's just a bummer that we didn't keep him. Well, then again, he did get hired to be a head coach at Cleveland. So, I mean, that was the only thing with that. He got hired to be the head coach of Cleveland. I just wish that that season would have translated a little better than a 6-10 record. That's the only thing. But they did definitely put up points, with the exception of the Tennessee game, because they got destroyed in that Tennessee game. But yeah, there was Mike Shula, Rob Chudzinski. They both did well. They both did well. You know, Chudzinski definitely helped turn things around. And then, of course, Shula had a longer stint with Carolina. So, and of course, he was offensive coordinator of the year during the Super Bowl year. So, I love high flying offenses. So I'm always going to lean towards those pass first offenses that throw bombs and scores a lot of points. Oh yeah, that's why I like Rob over Turner. One thing I will say about Rob and even Mike Shula, definitely was able to push the ball downfield. Especially, I got to give a lot of credit to Mike Shula, which is a fair argument. You got to remember a lot of the weapons that Mike Shula worked with. To take a bunch of lower names. No offense to Ted Ginn, which Ted Ginn, he was a special teamser. Philly Brown, which he was kind of a newbie. Jericho Cotchery, which is, mainly a possession wide receiver. Shula was good, but he didn't make halftime adjustments to help in the Super Bowl, so he gets taken out of the equation in my eyes. Honestly, I think there was one key thing that they failed to do that actually that I felt like had nothing to do with the play calling. So if you remember, Mike Remmers, one of the things that they did was they gave him help with double teaming on the offensive line, especially with the likes of Von Miller. And then in the second half, you know what they did? They stopped doing that. So, if anything, I really feel like that part was a big downfall for that offense, especially protection wise. But, I mean, like I said, with what they've been able to do with the weapons that they have compared to a lot of weapons on other elite teams, that says a lot. That says a lot, you know? That That says a lot. Not to mention, Chudzinski never won an offensive coordinator of the year. Shula did, so I think it's close. I think it's close. They're even close in age. Chud is younger, but and that's, I just think that's very impressive. I think that's very impressive because I don't know, me personally, I don't think anybody saw what happened in 2015 and predicted that to happen in 2015. I don't think anybody. I know I didn't. I guess I'll speak for myself, but I don't think anybody did. I'll say this one. I'll say this one last thing, and then I'll end the stream here. With our current team now, there's still some fight left, especially in the defense. There's still definitely some fight left in the defense. The defense has been playing their butts off. Frankie Louvu, Phenom says, I like Shula. Yeah, I can't say that I would pick Shula over Chudzinski. I think they both were great. Personally, I think they both were great, and they were probably, the best that we had. If you want a job, I would give him one back here in Carolina. Yeah, I don't see why not. Shoot, I don't see why not. I mean, honestly, I still would have considered keeping him, even despite, his last stint with Carolina, was the playoff loss to the Saints. But, yeah. But our defense is playing their butts off. And they're trying their best to keep, the team in the game. So there's definitely fight in this team. I think there has to come a point as soon as possible. I don't know if it's going to be this game. I doubt it's going to be this game. But I think as soon as we have a breakout game for Baker Mayfield, that may be where it starts. It just hasn't started yet. Now, will it ever start? Remains to be seen. The way that it's going, probably not. Because one, Baker Mayfield is losing trust in the fans, especially after this previous press conference where he was pretty much like, I could care less what the fans think. I mean, he's lost his fan base, I would say. So having that kind of attitude, that's a morale loss. So he's gonna have to figure that out or whatnot, because that's a big blow to morale. And then the coaching. Like, something to just light a fire in this coaching staff. But more and more, I think a big difficulty in all this is just Matt Rule. But like I said, I think I got a bad feeling that with Tepper in charge, the earliest we may see Matt Rule get canned is end of this season. By the bye week would be lucky, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But we're undefeated in the NFC South. And that's another thing. And that's even another thing why why I'm still sticking around. The NFC South. Looking at the NFC South. I mean, shoot, we're not even at the bottom of the NFC South. So it's going to be tough. But with the NFC South, anything can happen because it's the NFC South. We have to also remember, fans, we're in the NFC South. Anything can happen in the NFC South. But on that note, I want to thank y'all so much for the discussion. We had some good discussions tonight. That's one thing I enjoy about y'all. We get some good discussions, some good debates. I appreciate y'all bringing it. I really do. Have some great conversations. I love it. So thank y'all so much for bringing it tonight. We'll see what happens, but we got the Niners this Sunday, 4:00 game, another 4:00 game. So no matter what, keep pounding. Got to keep pounding. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, for hanging out with me. We'll see what happens Sunday. But thank y'all so much for another Carolina Panthers talk. Brought to you by Untitled Chapter Gaming here on the U to the Tube. Hope y'all have a blessed weekend. Wait, it's Thursday. Have a blessed Thursday. And I will see y'all in the next video. Keep pounding. Some way, somehow, we're going to get through this. Wait, but you're not looking towards the future. Wait, what? What'd I do? What'd I do? What'd I do? Looking to the future? We ain't even halfway into the season. Shoot. Week 6 is the future. Week 7 is the future. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We hadn't gotten to those games yet. We can look into the future. I can't look too far in the future. Gotta, just wait and see. Just gotta wait and see. Just wait and see. Let's see if they turn around. Let's see if they turn around. Just wait and see. Let's just see if they turn around. Wait and see. Let's see if they turn the beat around. Let's see if this team can do it. Just turn the beat. All right. I'm failing miserably. I'm going to go ahead and go because I sound dumb right now. Take care, y'all. Love y'all. Peace out. Y'all play too much.